Have you ever looked around at the world of people walking by? The towering buildings, the vastness of nature, and thought, what if this is all just an incredibly complex program? What if our reality isn't the base reality? This isn't just a late-night thought experiment anymore. It's a serious topic of debate among scientists and philosophers worldwide. The big question they're asking is, are we living in a simulation? This mind-bending concept is often called the simulation hypothesis. It was famously structured by philosopher Bostrom. He didn't just say, hey, maybe we're in a computer. He laid it out logically with something called the trilemma. He proposed three possibilities, and he argues that one of them must be true. First, it is possible that nearly all civilizations at our stage of technological development go extinct before they can create what he calls ancestor simulations. That is, super-realistic simulations of their past. Maybe there's a great filter, a planetary disaster, or a self-inflicted catastrophe that stops any species from reaching that godlike level of technology. If TIS is true, then nobody is making simulations, so we can't be in one. Second, maybe advanced civilizations can create these perfect simulations, but for some reason, they choose not to. Perhaps there are ethical prohibitions against creating conscious beings in a simulated world, or maybe they just lose interest in their own history and move on to other, more exciting virtual pursuits. If this is the case, again, very few simulations would exist, making it unlikely we're in one. But then there's the third option, and this is where it gets really wild. What if most advanced civilizations do reach the point where they can run these ancestor simulations, and they run a lot of them? Think about it. If you can simulate a universe, why stop at one? You could run thousands, millions, even billions of them. In that scenario, the number of simulated worlds would vastly outnumber the one single base reality. So, just by pure statistics, if you are a conscious being, it's almost certain that you're one of the countless simulated ones, not one of the rare originals. Statistically, we are probably in a simulation. It's a heavy thought, right? But what evidence, or at least, what arguments, support this idea? Let's start with something we can all see. Our own technology. Look at the video games we have today. Compare them to Pong from the 1970s. The leap in realism is staggering. We're already creating vast, immersive virtual worlds. We have VR that tricks our senses. Now, project the technological growth forward a few decades, a century, or 1,000 years. It's not a huge leap to imagine that our descendants, or some other advanced civilization, could create a simulation that is completely indistinguishable from reality to the beings living inside it. The line between what's real and what's virtual could simply dissolve. Then we dive into the weird world of quantum mechanics. This is where reality itself starts to look a bit like a video game. Have you heard of the observer effect? In simple terms, subatomic particles, like electrons, seem to exist in a fuzzy cloud of possibilities of superposition until we try to measure or observe them. The moment we look, they choose a definite state and location. This is bizarre. It is almost as if the universe is rendering the fine details until a conscious observer needs to see them. Just like in a video game, the world beyond your immediate view isn't fully rendered to save processing power. The game only loads the graphics when you turn your character's head to look. Could the behavior of quantum particles be a clue that our reality is being rendered on a need-to-know basis? Another fascinating argument is the fine-tuning of the universe. Scientists have noted that the fundamental constants of physics, things like the strength of gravity, the mass of an electron, the cosmological constant, are all tuned to an incredibly precise degree. If any of these values were just a tiny bit different, life as we know it simply couldn't exist. Stars wouldn't form, atoms wouldn't be stable, and the universe would either collapse back on itself or expand too quickly for galaxies to form. Some see this as evidence of a creator, or God. But for simulation theorists, it looks an awful lot like someone setting the parameters of a program. Someone tweaked the dials of physics to get the simulation to produce something interesting, like life. And finally, there's the biggest mystery of all. Consciousness. We still have no scientific explanation for how subjective experience the feeling of being you. Seeing the color red, tasting chocolate arises from a lump of matter like the brain. This is known as the hard problem of consciousness. We can map the brain's electrical signals, but we can't explain why it feels like something to be alive. But if we're in a simulation, maybe consciousness isn't an emergent property of biology at all. Maybe it's just a fundamental feature of the program itself. Our awareness could be code. The I that's experiencing this world, simply a line in the cosmic software. Of course, for every argument in favor, there's a counter-argument. The biggest and most obvious one is the complete lack of direct evidence. So far, we haven't found any glitches in the matrix. We haven't seen the sky pixelate, or found a repeating pattern of cats walking by. Reality appears to be seamless and consistent. Without a testable prediction, the simulation hypothesis remains in the realm of philosophy, not hard science. You can't prove a negative, so we can't disprove we're in a simulation, but we have no concrete reason to believe we are. Then there's the sheer computational challenge. Simulating an entire universe, down to every last quantum particle, would require an unimaginable amount of computing power. Even if you only simulate the parts that are being observed, tracking the state of billions of conscious minds and their interactions is a monumental task. Some physicists argue it's fundamentally impossible, that the universe is too complex to be simulated by any computer that could exist within a universe. A computer simulating the universe would have to be bigger and more complex than the universe itself, which is a paradox. And let's not forget the ethical questions. Why would anyone create a simulated world that includes so much pain, suffering, and injustice? Are we part of a scientific experiment, a historical drama, or worse, just someone's sick entertainment? The motivations of our potential creators are a complete unknown, and some of the possibilities are quite grim. This whole idea was famously brought into pop culture by the movie The Matrix. It gave us a powerful and visceral image of a simulated reality, humans trapped in pods, their minds plugged into a virtual world by evil machines. But it's important to remember that the philosophical simulation hypothesis is different. It's not necessarily about a dystopian future or a war with AI. Our programmers could be our own distant descendants, just trying to understand their history. They might not be evil overlords. They could just be curious academics. So, where does that leave us? The honest answer is, we don't know. We have no definitive proof one way or the other. We could be living in base reality, the one and only. Or we could be one of trillions of simulations running on a cosmic supercomputer. But maybe finding the answer isn't the most important part. The true value of the simulation hypothesis is that it forces us to ask profound questions. It challenges our most basic assumptions about what it means to be real, to be conscious, and to be human. It pushes us to consider the ultimate limits of technology and the future of intelligence. Whether this world is code or cosmos, it is our reality right now. And exploring these mind-bending ideas is one of the most fascinating journeys we can take. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this trip down the rabbit hole, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content that questions everything. See you next time.